All right. Good morning, my friends. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to Nebulous Fleet Command. This just came out into early access this past Friday, I believe. And we've been excited about it since we had the developer on the podcast a year or so ago. Apparently, from what I can tell, it looks kind of homeworldy, a bit harpoony, which is not a bad thing. Apparently, you can customize your thingy thing. So I go blue. I love blue. Give me all the blue. Hull badge. Oh, interesting. Oh, you can select different thingies. Oh, I like that one. Yeah, I like that one. Okay. Ship name prefix. Gotta go with Veloxy. Primary, what's that? Oh, stripe. Oh, change that too. We gotta go purple. Like a dark purple. Like a dark. Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. That's good. That's good. Okay. I dig it. Alright. So, I haven't played this in a long time, and I wonder if I'll suck. We're gonna try this, and then we'll try this. Again, this is early access, so things might break, and I might suck. Yeah, dark purple's great. Blue is my favorite color, but I also love a good dark purple. I'm not always in the mood for co-op. I have to see with me because of social anxiety and whatnot. If I'm gonna do something with multiplayer, even with Spaz, I gotta know about it ahead of time, so I can gear up my brain for it. You know what I mean? For some reason, talking at y'all when you're in chat is easier on my brain than talking to an actual other human being. So let's see. Yeah, Fleet Academy tutorial. Blah 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 blah. Grueling lessons and lengthy practical trials. Okay, let's do it. All right, did I have to? Okay, now let's do it. Oh, there are many. Okay. Well, let's do them. 6. Okay, let's do them. I like the music. The Small Beginnings and the Dusty Tome. Those are encouraging names, aren't they? I've always done better talking over text. Chat rooms, emails, BBSs, that sort of thing. I've always been better talking over text than in actual person, even if it's over the phone. Like, when my phone rings, it's just like, who are you? What do you want? Go away. Like, I love how they still call these things phones. Like, I never use this as a phone, except to talk to my wife every now and again, and that's it. So, like, yeah, when everyone, like, actually calls me, I'm like, I prefer typing at people. So let's see. Lieutenant Hazel. Okay. Let's go. Let us do this thing called Nebulous. I remember this.
I'm Lieutenant Hazel. I'll be guiding you through the trials to determine if you're cleared for operations. The brass has their eyes on you, so try not to embarrass me.
Oh, God. I also didn't sleep well, so probably not my best morning to play something complex, but we'll see. Alright, so here are our ships. How do you move the camera around? Oh, hold down the left mouse button.
Let's get you familiar with the view controls first. Hold down the left mouse button and drag the mouse to angle your view. Now use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out.
Whee!
And most importantly, moving the view. Use W, A, S, and D to pan the view. E and C will raise and lower your view in the battle space, respectively.
I like big butts, and I cannot lie. Okay.
And that's it. Let's move on to the actual interface. We're going to select one of our ships now, so sit tight. You can select a ship either by clicking on its icon in the battle space, selecting it in the ship list, or pressing its corresponding number key indicated in the ship list.
Nice.
You've selected a ship. Now if you want to focus your view on the ship, you can use the F key. You can also do this by double tapping the ship's number key to both select and focus on the ship at the same time.
Ooh.
When focused, your view will automatically track the selecting unit until you move the view.
Okie dokie.
This ship in particular is the Rains-class frigate. It's the most common warship in the fleets, with a generous balance of speed, agility, armoring, and some good room for a good mix of support modules and weapon systems.
Love the detail. Look at that thing. Very expansive. Very expansive.
You'll also see at the bottom of the screen a readout of the selected ship. This is the ship information bar, and it's a list of the status of modules, weapons, current orders, and the general posture of the warship.
That is some detail right there, y'all.
This window is the damage control status board, and it'll be one of the most important items when in battle, as it shows the condition of all modules on the ship as a color gradient. Green means functional and undamaged, while red means heavy damage. A destroyed module or weapon is indicated in gray.
Awaiting orders, Commander.
Damage control is a whole can of worms, so we won't be covering that for now. Let's move on.
Oh, didn't mean to do that.
Next, the mount status display. This shows the status of all external mounts on the hull, which could be weapons, defense
Morning,
systems,
Thurston.
or utilities. Currently, all of our mounts show green with a black slash, indicating they're operational but idle. If you're ever confused at what a color or a symbol means, you can hover over the color status icon with your mouse to see what's going on.
I do love a good ooh, look at all the tooltips, you guys. I do love good tooltips. Big fan of tool. Look at all these tooltips. Dear Lord. Love it. Okay.
Lastly, we have the posture controls. These define how the ship will operate. From here you can control maneuvers, which sensor systems are enabled, and toggle specific defensive systems. Right now I've disabled most of these so we don't toggle something by mistake, but we'll go over these systems later. So you know how the interface works, but what about issuing an order to a ship? The ANS Small Beginnings is reporting that their drives are online, so we'll get that frigate into a nearby position. Select the ANS Small Beginnings and open the action menu by right-clicking anywhere in the battle space. On the left side of the menu, select the Move or Movement submenu to see all available movement commands.
Holy Lord.
The POS, or Position command, will order the warship to move to a position and hold there. Select position and move the Small Beginnings within 500 meters of Waypoint Atlas. This is the dial widget, and it will allow you to accurately select a position on the plane the ship is currently on by moving the cursor. You can left-click to confirm an order, or right-click to cancel. To change the elevation, hold left control and move your cursor up or down. You can also issue waypoints by holding left shift and marking a path. The order will only be confirmed when left shift is released and you click again. Don't forget, if you need to get a better view, you can still hold the left mouse button to angle your view even while the dial is open. When you're ready, lay in a course for the Small Beginnings to position itself near Waypoint Atlas.
Oh, jeez Louise. Can't zoom out any more. Okay. Oh, so you right click anywhere else. I see how it is. I hope that's right.
Underway.
It's kind of hard to tell, and I can't zoom out much further. Oh, it's not. I don't think it is. Oh. Can I move that? Okay, we'll see if that can't zoom out any further. Oh. That does that. Oh, great. Okay, well. There we go. Okay. So yeah, we did not do this correctly. Okay, so let's move you again. Bump, don't move. Position over there. That should do it, right? That should roughly do it. And yeah, there we go. That should get you where you need to go. Jeez Louise.
In the future, you can also use the M key as a shortcut to issue move to position orders.
Okay.
Now let's talk formations. Because only one ship can be commanded at a time, formations are crucial for grouping your forces and keeping management simple. The ANS Dusty Tome is reporting they're ready for orders, so we'll have them fall in with the small beginnings. Select the Dusty Tome and open the action menu. The formation command can be found under the Move submenu and is issued with the FRM or formation button. You can also use the keyboard shortcut left shift plus F key. We first have to designate a ship as the guide ship. This ship will be the actual leader for the formation, and all warships following the guide ship will try to copy their current orders. Select the ANS Small Beginnings to mark it as the guide. Next, you'll need to designate a position for the Dusty Tome to take up in formation. The dial functions exactly like the movement command, but it's relative to the guide ship. Pick a position for the Dusty Tome to keep station on.
Order received, assuming...
The Dusty Tome will move into formation, and they'll try to follow the guide ship as best they can. If the guide ship is moving when the ship is ordered to form up with it, the guide will automatically slow down to allow the other ship to catch up.
It does, doesn't it? It looks like an MFD for a fighter cockpit. That's a very good thing to point out.
You can have as many ships as you want in a formation, but keep in mind that there are drawbacks to having a lot of closely packed ships, beyond white-knuckled helmsmen. Spacing is key, and sometimes you need to split up.
I think there is a pause. I think?
Ships near each other create a larger radar return, making stealth and evasion more difficult and allowing the enemy to detect you at a longer range. But we won't go over sensor coverage just yet. You can see the structure of your fleet and its formations in the ship list, which dynamically updates to show which ships are in formation with each other. Orders can be issued to your entire formation at once by opening the action menu in formation mode. This can be done by using left shift plus right click, any shift in the formation selected.
Oh my god. Left shift and right click.
The action menu will indicate it's in formation mode by displaying the number of ships the order will be delivered to. For formation mode, don't worry about which ship you have selected, as the order will be delivered to all of them. Easier that way. Movement orders are a special case, as they will always be routed to the guide ship, and the whole formation will follow them. Now let's get the whole formation moving in a direction. The Drive Course command, found under the Move submenu as the CRS or Course button, will order a ship or formation to travel in a certain direction indefinitely. Select the Drive Course command now. Do not issue the order just yet. When it comes to picking directions in space, you'll use the Sphere widget. It's similar to the Dial widget from before, but allows for choosing directions more uniformly. It can be a little tricky at first, so take your time and get a feel for it. Moving your mouse cursor around will position the target on the surface of the sphere. By holding left control, you will log the direction and be able to change the radius. This is useful for weapons, as you'll see in a later lesson, but for choosing a course, we really only care about direction. Know that the cursor will remain on one side of the sphere, even if you pan the view. The initial side is determined by where your mouse was relative to the ship when you first opened the widget. If you need to switch the side, hold left control and draw the radius back through the center until it's on the opposite side. Get some practice moving the cursor around now, as selecting a direction or position in 3D space can be very disorienting at first. When you're ready, issue the order to get the formation underway in the given direction.
On the move.
The formation will now drive the course until told you otherwise. Careful not to lose attention and let them get too far. We've had an incident in the past, and I'm not going to fill out more paperwork. Lastly, let's break the dusty tone back off from the formation. To do so, all you need to do is select the ship and issue a standard movement order to it. That will override its order to keep in formation.
Moving to that position.
Well, congratulations! That completes your first lesson in maneuvering ships in the battle space. We'll cover more advanced topics like weapons employment and tactical view in the next lesson. I'll see you back at the Academy.
Hang on, I think there is, there we go, hang on. Enable active pause, there it is. Absolutely. Oh my god, active pause speed. Yark. Absolutely. And I believe, so is it spacebar? What is the, anyway, okay. Alright, so that was the first tutorial. Okay, apparently double clicking doesn't do anything. Alright, so we just did that one. Weapons employment. I think the developer added that recently, the active pause thing. Lasquita, just so you know, you shouldn't be replying to the restream bot. That's just the bot that makes all the chat things work. You should try and reply to the actual person. Because if you reply to the restream bot, we're all like, what?
Now comes my favorite part. Weapons and how to use them.
Alright.
Don't worry about that red contact over in the distance. It's a decommissioned frigate that's been tugged out here for target practice.
Okay.
Before we get to weapons, we need to learn about the tactical view. You can switch between tactical and normal views by pressing spacebar.
I bet you this is where I'll spend much of my time.
The view controls here are the same as before, but you can zoom out much further and get a better idea of the situation in the battle space. Take a moment to look around now. The tactical view provides you with a lot of information that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. It's your primary way of knowing what's happening around you. You'll be using it a lot. The range plane shows you both elevation of targets and their distance from a given point. When no ships are selected, it sits at the center of the battle space. Select the small beginnings now to see how the plane changes.
Reporting.
Take note that the range plane moved to center on that ship. It'll also track with it. All ranges will be indicated relative to your currently selected ship. Notice that the line from the enemy track to the range plane has a slight curve. This is because elevation and range are not directly related, so the contact's distance on the plane must be projected onto a sphere. This layout makes it easy to determine the range of a target by looking at the position of the plane relative to your selected ship's capabilities. The dotted lines represent maximum ranges of your ship's systems. Red indicates offensive range, blue is sensor range, and defensive systems are green. While there are common ship configurations found throughout the fleet, most ships have some unique capability. The ANS Small Beginnings is configured with 2 Mark 62 twin-barrel 120mm cannons and a 16-cell vertical missile launcher. I'm unlocking your weapon systems now, so let's put gunnery to the test with some tried and true naval fire. There are several ways to target weapons. The fastest and simplest is by shooting directly at the sensor track. To do this, right-click the red sensor track to bring up the action menu in track mode. The action menu will indicate it is in track mode by displaying the targets and track number in the space. It will automatically open the weapons list if there are any weapons on the ship. The active targeting mode is shown at the top of the list. Right now we are in track mode indicated by TRK. We'll talk about other modes later. Select the cannons from the weapon list and light up the target.
Eyes on target.
Definitely seeing some hits there. Looking good.
Can't zoom to the ship though, as far as I can tell.
If the guns can't hit a target, the ship will automatically roll itself to get currently active weapon on angle on the target.
Oh, that's what
It's
it
called
did.
unmasking. Right now you'll notice that our fire is pretty inaccurate. This is because our targeting solution isn't using a fire control lock. The red dot jumping around near the track shows where our sensors think the target is.
Oh, okay.
Let's improve our targeting accuracy by locking the target with our bullseye fire control radar, located on the top of the ship. To do this, right-click the track and select the LCK, or lock, at the top of the action menu. You can also use the X key keyboard shortcut.
I'm trying to do the thing.
Receiving.
Huh. Uh-oh. 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 We might have run into a buggy bug. Oh no. I can't click on the thingy. Oh no. Vertical missile launcher on a spaceship. What's vertical in space? I can't click anything. I can't click anything.
Send traffic.
Okay, so I can click that.
Receiving.
But, okay, so the X key doesn't do anything like they said it would. Okay, this is not great. Buggy. Okay, well, maybe it doesn't work in sensor mode. I don't know. Alright, fine. Nope. 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 Nope.
Reporting.
Yeah, no, I am right-clicking. That's the thing. I am right-clicking the thing. I am totally right-clicking the bad guy, the bad guy over there, and nothing's happening. Nothing. Shift right-click. Control right-click. Other shift right-click. How about alt right-click? Nothing. Okay, hang on.
Send traffic. Locking that target.
Notice the new icon on the target. This indicates that the target is locked on and is providing much better accuracy
Thank
and
you,
increased
Thorsten.
update rate on the target.
So maybe this needs a slightly better tutorial.
Remember, not
Or
all ships have fire control radar, and you'll only be able to get a lock with ships that have them equipped.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm an idiot. Probably a little bit of both. You know.
Right now we are shooting armor-piercing, AP, shells at the target. Armor-piercing is effective on armor plating, but will only deal damage to internal components directly in the shell's path once it punctures the hull. While any damage is a good thing, we can deal even more damage by switching the shell type to high explosive, dealing damage to a wide area in the target's internals. We use high explosive, HE shells, against targets of appropriate size or smaller, or larger targets with heavy armor damage. HE shells cause much less damage to armor, but penetration will explode inside and do damage to all nearby components and personnel.
Yeah, definitely need more caffeine.
To switch to HE shells, first open the action menu in track mode by right-clicking the track.
Okay.
In the weapons list, next to the cannons entry, click on the ammunition icon to open the ammunition list.
Oh, look at that.
Click the 120mm HE shell option to select it. The ammo switch is now pending and will only be executed if a new fire order is given. To begin firing the new ammo type, click the weapon group to confirm the ammunition change.
Solution locked in.
Now we'll select the small beginnings and watch what it's up to. The mounts display shows the ship's cannons are firing and cycling. When the yellow bar is filled, the cannon will fire again. We can also see that the fire controls radar is solid green, indicating it's active and it has an active lock-on.
Ah.
Receiving.
Here's the active orders list, showing an icon for each order the ship is currently executing. Right now we have an order to fire our guns and an order to lock the target.
Okay, that's interesting.
Have the small beginnings hold fire and break their lock-on by right-clicking on the order icons to cancel them.
Oh, that's nifty. I like how it's twisting back to the, I guess, agreed plane. Okay.
And that's the basics of gunnery. The key thing is to know what ammunition to use, especially as your target takes more damage to warrant the big stuff. But what if you don't have a sensor track? Take a look at your ship's hulls, and you'll notice the 4 white octagons on the sides. These are radar panels, and provide coverage for their respective sector of space. There's also a central control module inside the ship, which tracks what these panels see. When panels are damaged or destroyed, you'll lose coverage in that area. Similarly, if the radar controller is destroyed, you'll lose all coverage in all directions. Obviously, fighting blind is not a good thing. But that won't put you out of the fight just yet. Direct fire weapons like cannons can fall back on visual targeting, where the crew will provide targeting data to your guns using onboard optics. Some weapons like missiles can't do this, however. I've ordered your crew to disable the radar. Take a moment and observe what happens. You don't want the first time you're operating without radar to be the real deal. With sensors disabled, you will now see visual contacts when you have one of your ships selected, and nothing when no ship is selected. If you don't see anything, you'll need to move within visual range, about 3,200 meters. I've created a marker in the general area for your reference. That won't happen in actual battle.
Standing by.
Receiving. On it.
You can fire on visual contacts the same way you did with the sensor tracks. Use visual targeting to fire at the target ship with the small beginnings guns again.
Receiving. We've got him now.
I hope I did it right. I hope I did it right.
Standing by. Solution locked in.
In a situation like this, you can imagine things are not going too well for you, but you'll at least still be a threat, so don't feel too cut up if your sensors go dark. Now missiles. The ships in this fleet carry two variants of the SGM-2 series anti-ship cruise missiles, the Thunderhead and the Hurricane. The Hurricane is a command-guided missile, which means it is guided to the target by a launching ship. If it misses the target, it will come back around and try again until it runs out of fuel, is shot down, or finally hits the target. Command missiles are very difficult to avoid. The only way to defeat them without destroying the missile itself is by destroying the launching ship or jamming its sensors or communication. Shoot the archer, as we say. The downside is that the Hurricane must be shot at a sensor track. If you lose a track, the Hurricane will be useless.
Locking that target.
Let's launch 3 Hurricane missiles at the target. Start by opening the action menu in track mode on the target.
I think I did that.
Receiving.
Now select the SGM-225 Hurricane with the weapons list. This will queue up a single missile shot at the target and leave you with an active track selection widget. Multiple missiles can be fired with a single order using the left Alt key. Hold the left Alt key and click on the target to add one more missile per click. The number of queued missiles is shown next to your mouse cursor. To issue the order, you can either click the left mouse button with the left Alt key released, or if you don't want to add another missile, you can press the Enter key to submit as is.
Oh. Targeting mode unsupported. What are you talking about? I wonder if I'm too close to launch a missile now. Let's move away. Move away.
Aye, full burn.
Alright, so... Targeting mode unsupported. What are you talking about? Fine. Get a little bit further away. We'll try this again. I like how the Dusty Tome is staying in formation. Okay, so let's try this again. Weapons. Targeting mode unsupported. Okay, well then let's lock the target.
Locking that target.
Okay, so the target is locked. Weapons. What are you talking about? Why can't I shoot you? What do you mean targeted mode unsupported? I'm tracking the target. Tracking, locking track. I already launched one missile at it. Why can't I launch 2 more? Game, come on, work with me here. Why? Okay, so I want to... Okay.
Standing by.
What about you? What do you got? Targeting mode unsupported. Oh, the tome doesn't have a
Set traffic.
radar.
We're ready whenever you are.
Well, we'll see.
Waiting orders.
Target too close.
Missile launched.
Hey, Dax the Destroyer. Okay, so go missiles. Dump. And thump. Okay. Let's try it again.
We're ready whenever you are.
What do you mean targeting unsupported? What are you talking about? I just shot you. Oh my god, fine. Let's try. I don't even know what a thunderhead is. It's a weapon. I just shot them. Okay, let's hit you with another cruise missile right there. Let's go. Let's do that.
Missile away, tube clear.
Let's fire another missile. Fire 3 hurricane missiles at it. Oh well, whatever. Where you going? Okay. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Where? Hey, it's over there, buddy. It's over there, fella. Hey, pal. Hey, buddy. Hey, friend. Hey, don't hit the rock. You hit the rock. Oh, okay.
Reporting.
We're ready whenever you are.
Targeting mode unsupported. Okay, well, let's... Oh, my God. Okay, so now we've cleared the track. Let's track again. Lock on target. Bump-a-dump.
Target lock.
Target locked. All right. Weapons. Why? God damn it. Let's get a little further. Maybe it's got to be a little further. I don't know. Jeez Louise. Let's just move a little further then. Why not? Let's just move a little further away. Just a little bit. Just a smidge.
Aye, aye. Hold
Just a smidge. I never said I knew I was... I never said I knew what I was doing. Oh, the missile tried its best. Okay. All right. Let's try this again. So, bump, weapon. Why? Okay, come on, give me a thing. Okay, what about you?
Orders.
Still can't hit you with a hurricane. So how do I change the track then? Why is it set to position? It should be set to track because I got this guy tracked.
Standing by. Solution locked in.
Try that, I guess.
Missiles are one of your most limited and precious resources, second only to the ships themselves. They are extremely powerful, but extremely scarce. You'll need to know when to use them, as it can't be replenished under normal circumstances outside of a port. A frigate like the Rains will be crippled by only 2 or 3 missile hits, but in a real fight it will often take more than that to penetrate an enemy's point defense, which are a serious threat to hurricanes as they tend to fly in a direct path.
I don't even know how I did that. Oh yeah, apparently I did this. Okay.
The ANS Dusty Tome is carrying a different missile loadout. Select the ship now so we can take a look at it. This frigate is carrying Thunderheads, an active radar-guided missile, which means it carries its own method for finding targets, allowing it to seek targets by itself. It can be targeted in the same way as the Hurricane missiles, but once it has left the tube, it's entirely autonomous. When it reaches the end of its path, it will activate its onboard seeker and begin searching for a target. The greatest benefit of active missiles is that they can be sent on complex waypoint paths, allowing for multi-angle strikes and even hitting targets behind asteroids. But we'll cover that when you get to your advanced missile trial. For now, let's just fire 3 Thunderhead missiles at the target as we did before with the Hurricanes.
Thunderhead. Too close.
Missile launched.
As easy as it is to use active radar missiles, there are some downsides to their operation. The first is that the missile must find a target within the cone of its seeker in order to track and kill it. This makes evasive maneuvers such as course changes an easy way to defeat active missiles fired at long range, especially. The second shortcoming is that active seekers are easy to decoy with chaff and other countermeasures, meaning more missiles need to be used in order to score a hit, as active missile radars are particularly sensitive to jamming and decoys.
We're ready whenever you are.
But that should do it for your weapons trial. I'll have Fleet Logistics retrieve the dummy ship, and I recommend looking into all the weapons when you get your chance. I'll see you at the Academy.
Okay, 2 down. Shaky divide. Fun. Alright. Dunk. Can't just double click that. Okay. Damage control. Ooh. I can't just double click a thing. Okay. Fine. Yeah. I like complex, but oof. This is complex. Then again.
Alright, ready for something really nerve-wracking? For as long as you're out here in space, it's inevitable that you're going to take a few hits over the course of your career.
Yeah, my brain is melting a little bit, but again, my brain was melting when I started playing Starfleet 2 as well, so practice and all that, I guess.
In reality, the odds of us coming out unscathed in an engagement are exceedingly low. If you want to stay fit and combat effective, you're going to need to learn how to repair damage. Let's begin. To start, select the A and S Small Beginnings. I've had my boys set up some simulated scenarios for us to cover. Just stay cool. You'll start seeing some damage come up. For the purpose of this training exercise, I've just simulated damage in 3 of the Small Beginnings subsystems: Mount 1, the main radar controller, and the Combat Information Center. In the ship list, you'll notice a number of new icons have appeared.
Oh, yeah. There's a fire.
The orange number indicates the number of damaged components with active debuffs, which affects the performance of those damaged components.
God damn it, Wink. I won't play Cold Waters because it doesn't have an in-mission save. Well, I won't play Cold Waters.
If there's a fire, it will be indicated here. Obviously, a fire in an enclosed space is a serious threat to ship survival. It'll slowly damage the ship over time, and it'll also slow down the working speed of damage control teams. This red number indicates the components have been damaged to the point where they are no longer functional. This also includes components which have been completely destroyed. The red chevrons indicate the ship's command system are not operational, meaning they are no longer receiving any orders. Open the action menu to see what it looks like. The text at the center of the action menu will display "Not Receiving" when a ship can't receive orders. This is because the CIC, or Combat Information Center, has taken critical damage. You may have warships with backup command systems that allow maneuvering orders to be carried out while the CIC is disabled. This allows you to get your ship to safety and effect repairs. However, this ship isn't fitted with that. Going back to the ship's status display, we can see the damaged components and their locations. By clicking on the status display, we can open the damage control board. Do so. The damage control board will show all of the components installed on the ship and their current status. You can use the filter buttons at the top to suppress things that you don't want to see.
Control reestablished.
Your damage control officer will automatically prioritize repairs based on how important a component is. For example, your reactor and CIC are going to be priority 1, as they're critical to the operation of the ship. If you have your own priorities, you can click on one of the items on the board to prioritize it manually. Prioritized items are highlighted in blue. Keep in mind that changing priorities frequently can cause teams to move around a lot, which wastes valuable time that could be used for repairs.
That's a good point, David. That's a good point. So I can't give this ship orders, but I can move. I don't know.
Damage control teams are stationed in a DC locker and will move from there when damage is taken. It'll take time for repairs to start, as the teams need to get themselves and their tools to the casualty. You can see the progress of the damage control teams by the gauge filling up on their token. Hazards like fires are their first priority, before they'll begin repairing actual damage, as these can deal damage over time. The important thing to remember is that once a component has taken damage below 90%, it can never be fully repaired back to 100%. Maximum repair is 10% more than the lowest integrity level the component had at the time of repairs.
Ouch.
We'll let your teams work before we continue. Let's do 2 more drills. The first is a component restoration exercise.
What?
The CIC is now destroyed, with the integrity at 0%. Repair teams won't begin repairs to get it operational again, without you explicitly telling them to do so. You'll need to get it repaired. In the damage control board, find the CIC and use left shift plus left click to order your repair teams to start working on it. Once it's repaired, the ship will be able to receive orders again.
Shift and click. Oh god. Okay, shift. Okay, sure.
This must be done manually, because restoring a component is a time and equipment-intensive process. The equipment to do so is stored in the DC locker, and each locker only holds enough materials for 1 or 2 restorations. Although the CIC is disabled, and this ship can't receive orders to move or fire, you will always be able to prioritize damage control to attempt repairs. But this means that your repair teams are extremely vulnerable. They're moving into parts of the ship that are actively taking enemy fire, and could very well be killed. If all the personnel on a team are killed in action, you'll lose the team completely. If you run out of repair teams, you won't be able to repair at all. You can't replenish teams outside of a port, so keep that in mind. We'll wait for your teams to finish their work, then we'll...
Now they seem to automatically do things when
now
you
that
tell
the
them
CIC
to.
is restored, the Small Beginnings is ready to receive orders again. After the teams reboot all of the computers, that is. Lastly, we'll do something a little dangerous, a catastrophic scenario.
Oh no.
Most component damage is localized, and will only affect the part of the ship where the damage was received. On the other hand, catastrophic scenarios are situations which, left unchecked, will eventually take the whole ship down. These situations include reactor overloads, magazine explosions, and fuel line fires, just to name a few. Your repair teams will automatically move to prevent catastrophic damage, so there's not much you can do except watch. Just get a feel for what it will look like. Your damage control officer will always prioritize repairs for a situation like this. The ship's survival always comes first. Notice the flashing warning icon in the ship's list. Below the icon is an estimated countdown before the situation gets out of control. If you don't know what's wrong, you can hover over the warning icon to see a tooltip.
Can I?
Out of all of the catastrophic damage you might see, reactor overloads are the most deadly. Your teams know how to work with a damaged reactor, but fires and other hazards can make it a nearly impossible task to complete. Should the reactor go critical, you'll see a reactor bloom with a blast radius of about 1.5 kilometers. Standard doctrine states to move all of the friendly warships out of the danger radius of the ship with an impending reactor overload.
Ooh.
Be careful around enemy wrecks as well. Your weapons could have damaged the reactor housings, and you'll get little to no warning before they go off. But Commander, that's it for your damage control trials. Just keep an eye on your teams and be smart about their movements, and you'll come out just fine. Remember, the ship's survival always comes first.
Okay. My brain is melting a little bit. I see. I get what you mean, Fernando. Yeah, I totally get what you mean. Yeah, I mean, some people probably want to be the captain and the gunner and the. I mean, some people probably want to do all that. Okay, this is where my brain is going to melt. I bet you money this is where my brain is going to melt. One of our ships is a jammer, though.
It's critical for you to understand your sensors and the things that affect them, as they act as your eyes in the battle space. After all, you can't shoot what you can't see. But now it's time to learn how they actually work. How to evade detection while spotting the enemy, and how to fool your opponent is absolutely paramount to a successful engagement. Let's begin. Select the ANS Small Beginnings.
How can we help today, Commander?
The first thing we'll talk about is your signature size and methods of signature control. Active sensors like radar detect enemy ships by bouncing radio waves off of them. The physical size of your ship, combined with the angle of surface and the cross-sectional area from the viewing angle, affect the size of the returned energy. In other words, the same ship will appear on sensors at a longer range if its broadside is facing the enemy versus being bow on. The smallest radar cross-section for the Rain's frigate, for example, is from above and below the port and starboard stern. You can see the size of your signature by hovering over the signature summary on the ship information bar. There are other contributing factors to the size of your signature, including what modules are active and how many ships are nearby. Right now there is another ship nearby, which is boosting the size of the radar return and making it so the enemy can see us at a longer range. Let's lower our footprint. Move the Small Beginnings more than 250 meters away from the Dusty Tome, so you won't contribute to each other's signatures. Don't move towards the enemy, we want to keep our current range.
On the way, Commander.
If you hover over the signature summary with your mouse, you will see the nearby ships modifier is gone, reducing our overall footprint. It's good, but we'll need to do better if we want to hide ourselves from the enemy. On the ship list, the yellow icon indicates that the ship is spotted by the enemy sensors and is being tracked. Similarly, a red crosshair here would show that the ship is locked by the enemy's fire control radar. We have a good set of tools to reduce our radar footprint even further. Let's see what we can do to shake the enemy off. This switch will toggle our radar systems off, greatly reducing our footprint. This switch disables our communication suites, which can provide a modest reduction in our signature size.
Receiving.
Go ahead and turn off both of these now, and see how it affects our signature size. You may be surprised to see that even with your radars off, you are still seeing tracks. This is because the ANS Dusty Tome still has the radars and comms on, and is transmitting tracks to the Small Beginnings, sharing their own data. Hover over Signature Summary with your mouse to see how changing these emission settings altered your signature.
Yeah.
If you didn't move too close to the enemy, you'll notice that the yellow icon indicating the ship is being tracked has disappeared. If you are still being tracked, it might be because your hull is at an angle that maximizes radar reflections. Even then, a lower signature size reduces the distance at which the enemy can detect you, even if you are well inside their maximum sensor range. Disabling emissions also has the added benefit of making you undetectable by passive sensors. Passive radar sensing is typically able to detect you 125% further away from your maximum radar range, so being invisible to it has an obvious benefit. The downside, of course, is that turning off your radars means you can't detect threats as easily. Similarly, disabling comms means that the ship is no longer transmitting any tracks it sees to friendly ships in the fleet. Ships with their comms off will still be able to receive tracks from other transmitting ships, and they can act as a silent shooter. Go ahead and re-enable both the radar and the communications on the Small Beginnings.
Commander.
Now it's time to experience what having your sensors jammed feels like.
Okay.
We're being
Confusing, right?
Whoa. That's nuts.
The enemy jammer is saturating our radar with radio waves, making it difficult for our systems to find legitimate contacts. This noise of contacts is what we are seeing, instead of the real radar picture. Notice that we lost track of the ship in front of us, but the one on the right is still clear as day. This is because jamming only affects the area around the direction that is being jammed. Keep this in mind when you're trying to use jamming to protect your own ships. We do have a tool available that can be used in a pinch, the burn-through sweep. Not all radar modules have this, but allows for a short, high-powered sweep in all directions. To execute the burn-through sweep, open the action menu and select the BRN or burn-through command on the top. Then, as quickly as you can, attempt to lock the target. You can use the X key for the lock-on shortcut.
Hitting a lock. I can't see anything. Hitting a lock.
Burn-through sweeps will show a unique icon for detected targets, making it easier to spot the target through the noise. The icon will linger for about 30 seconds to give you time to lock on. Locked targets are much less susceptible to being lost through jamming.
So a spaceship can only track one target at a time.
I can't
That's
see
it.
anything.
Most of the time you'll be able to maintain a fire control lock in spite of jamming, but keep in mind that jamming power stacks, so a fleet with enough jammers active at the same time will break any lock. Because burn-through sweeps use a much higher power output, they also have the added benefit of being able to spot smaller, weaker contacts at a greater range. This is useful for finding small scout ships or approaching missiles. The downside is that the higher power output runs the risk of causing damage to the amplifiers every time you use it, so be careful not to burn out your radars. Your other option for burning through jamming is simply to get closer to the enemy, brute forcing your way in. Just try not to get sunk in the process. Jamming the enemy ourselves can be as easy as right-clicking their track and selecting our jammers with the EW weapons menu. However, these targets are far enough apart that they won't both be covered by the cone centered on only one of them. The ANS Dusty Tome is carrying a blanket radar jammer. We'll use that to jam both targets by catching them both in the jammer's cone of effect by targeting a position between both contacts. You can target a weapon on a position in space by opening the action menu by right-clicking an open space instead of on a track, and use the sphere widget to target a position between the two contacts. Remember to use the tactical view, as it will give you precise bearings for positional targeting.
Jammer engaged.
When in the tactical view, you'll see each track's position projected onto the sphere of the widget. To blind both of them, aim for a point between those two projected positions. Remember that you can change the radius of the widget by holding left control and drawing the radius in or out.
Damn.
Aye aye, priming the buzzer.
There we go.
And like that, they can't see us anymore, just like what happened to us. But they can also use the same tactics like burn-throughs or approaching us to sift through the jamming. Even if you don't successfully jam the enemy's tracking of your ships, an active jamming signal will still reduce their sensor accuracy. This is particularly devastating for point defenses, which are shooting at very small, very fast targets and therefore require great accuracy. Using standoff jamming in coordination with your missile salvos will make them devastatingly effective. Let's try it. Fire off the missile salvo at the enemy ship ahead, and see how their defenses react with your jammer active.
Go ahead, Command. Sending it.
Watch how erratically the enemy defenses are firing. Point defense requires pinpoint precision, which your jamming is preventing by flooding their sensors with far too many false contacts.
Well, they got one. They got them both?
When using jamming to cover a missile attack, you'll still need to watch out for airburst point defenses like flak guns, as they don't require much accuracy. Most importantly, the blanket jammer has a 90-second firing time. This is to prevent the amplifiers from overheating and being damaged. However, However, there are times where you absolutely have to be able to use the system, or you'll lose the ship. In that case, you might not care whether the module destroys itself. This is what Battle Short is for. Select the ANS Dusty Tome if it isn't already.
My brain.
Send traffic.
This is the toggle for the Battle Short mode. When this is on, all equipment safeties are disabled, and the equipment will continue to run until it destroys itself. Reserve it for emergency use, or you'll hear an endless litany of profanity from the damage control officer. When Battle Short is enabled, active components with active duration timers will periodically be damaged. However, they will only begin taking damage when they exceed their normal firing time. One last thing to note is that most electronic warfare modules are single-cycle systems. That means they won't repeatedly fire on the same target after their cooldown period. You'll need to designate a new target every time the system comes off cooldown. Jamming is an extremely powerful tactic when used at the right time. Use it to cover your retreat, confuse enemy fire, cover your missiles, and anything else you can think of. With that out of the way, that should do it for sensors and EWAR. I hope I made it easy to follow, because the guidebooks on these are nightmarish. I'll see you back at the academy.
Yeah, that broke my brain a little bit. Just a little bit. That's maneuvering. Here we go.
Space is vast, Commander. There's usually no cover, and if you're lucky, you can see a threat coming kilometers away. Knowing how to move your ship is one thing, but knowing the right maneuver will make sure you come out on top. You can definitely make it out of a fight in one piece without using advanced maneuvers, but you'll see quite a good drop in repairs if you employ them correctly. Before we get started, let's order the Dusty Tome to enter formation with the small beginnings, so we can see how these commands affect other ships in the formation when issued to the guide ship.
Oh, whoops.
We hear you, Command. Aye, aye. Forming up.
Now let's try our first new command. Select the ANS Dusty Tome and open the action menu. All of the commands we'll learn about in this lesson can be found under the Move submenu. The ALD, or Assume Lead command, will cause the formation that this ship is in to restructure itself with the selected ship as the new guide ship. Issue this order now.
Forming up.
It's not uncommon for the guide of the formation to come under fire first, as it's usually the most important ship, making it a prime target. Should it become disabled, its escorts will hold position around it. Sometimes you want them to hold the line, but there's other times that you need to sacrifice that disabled ship to save the others. When you have a large formation, the Assume Lead command will save you precious time reorganizing the formation around a new ship that can lead the survivors to safety. It's a lifesaver, literally. Since the Dusty Tome is the guide now, let's keep it selected and start covering the rest of the orders. Open the action menu in the Move submenu. We'll first cover the ORB, or Orbit command. This command is useful for keeping your ships moving continuously around a target without having to make hard direction changes constantly. Select it now, but don't issue the order yet. This is a two-stage command, just like the formations. The first task is to select the orbit anchor, or the position the ships will travel around. Let's set our anchor near the enemy target. Once you have selected the orbit anchor, we'll determine the radius and the angle of the orbit. Notice that when you change the angle of the sphere widget, a dotted line now appears. The dotted line denotes the actual path that the ships will follow. The arrow near your cursor denotes the direction that they will fall along the path. This is determined by the side of the sphere your cursor is on relative to your ship. Go ahead and issue the order now. Make sure there are no obstacles in the path. The circle will turn red if the ship might hit something in its orbit.
We'll be there.
If you want, you can open fire on the target you're orbiting to see how your guns will behave.
Raspberry.
The real utility of the orbit command is that it keeps your ships moving while keeping a side facing the target on the inside, allowing most weapons a good angle at the target. If you just drive a course, you'll eventually have to turn your ships around, or you'll lose the target behind an obstacle, or just slowly start to mask certain weapons as the angle increases. This will cost you valuable time while the turrets swing around. Orbits help prevent this. The downside, of course, is that your ships will be exposing the same armor to the enemy constantly, allowing them to whittle it down before they lay in heavy munitions. You'll also be presenting a good angle for radar returns, meaning you might be an easier target. You can orbit this target as long as you like, and play with the weapons. When you're ready, issue a drive course order to get our ships heading off into open space, so we can try the remaining commands. Alright, 2 more commands to cover. Both are very situational, but you'll be glad you've got them in your tool belt. Better to have it than not have it at all.
I wonder what button does the pause thing. Ah! Okay, it's not that.
Open the action menu to the Move submenu, and locate the HDG, or Heading command.
Orders, Commander.
The distance you draw the sphere widget out to doesn't matter here, as we're picking a direction instead of a position. Select a direction that is different from the course the formation is currently driving. Notice how the entire formation is turning to face that direction, but continue to move along in its ordered course. A modified movement order like this is indicated with a blue box around the movement status icon. Normally your ships will turn into any course they are following, as this allows them to use their main engines and provides the best acceleration. However, when withdrawing under fire, this can expose the main engines, and especially the drive module in the reactor, directly to enemy fire. The hold heading order is useful to keeping the bow pointed towards the enemy, protecting your most vital components during retreat. To cancel a hold heading, as well as the next command we'll talk about, use the CLR or Clear command under the Move submenu. Clear the heading hold now. The last command we'll cover is the ROL or Roll command. We'll do this for the ANS small beginnings this time. Select the ship and select the order now. The roll command will allow you to select a new direction for the ship to use as its up direction. Move the mouse around the widget and click the left mouse button to select a new up direction.
Ooh, fun.
Ordering a ship to roll may seem trivial, but like I've said, your radar panels may get taken out by enemy fire. If this is a scout or a spotting ship and it needs to provide targeting data right now, rolling the ship over to expose the functioning panels may be necessary. Also notice that the small beginnings rolled independently of the guide ship, but is still keeping formation. A roll order can also be cancelled with the Clear command. And that's it. It may seem simple, but if you use any of these little tricks right, you'll start seeing a difference. I'll see you at the Academy.
It doesn't seem simple. It doesn't. It doesn't seem simple at all. It may seem simple. It's so simple. Amazing tempo. Yeah, I think there's one tutorial left, and then we're gonna get slaughtered in a skirmish. We're totally gonna get slaughtered. Okay, one tutorial left, I think. Why can't I double click this? Advanced missile tactics. So if you see something oozing out of my nose, it'll probably be my brain. Just FYI. Oh, we have a new ship, the Fatal Spell. Oh boy. Okay, so now we have 3 ships.
Out here in the cold void, missiles are like diamonds. They're valuable and scarce, and you won't be able to refill your cells under most circumstances. Unless you want to wind up with empty launchers while your enemy is fully stocked, you'll need to learn how and when to use them.
And missiles are a girl's best friend? Anyway,
You can always come back here to practice with missiles. But I can also give you a rundown of what you can throw downrange.
Jinx, Luke. Jinx. You owe me a Coke. I wonder if only people of a certain age will get that joke. I don't know. Okay.
You want to take the reins and practice? Or would you like me to guide you through it? I've got plenty of time.
Yes.
Sounds good. Let's get you familiar with advanced missile operations.
Okay.
The enemy ships in this scenario won't shoot back at your ships, but they are all equipped with different types of point defenses, so it won't be as easy to hit them as last time. There are 5 enemy ships in the battle space, but we can only see 3 of them right now. I've disabled your drives for this, as you'll get the most training out of your current position. No cheating and all that. We'll start by firing 2 command-guided missiles, the Hurricanes, from the ANS Small Beginnings at the group of 2 ships directly ahead of us.
Your orders, Commander. We're locked on target. Missiles away. Missiles away.
Oh, wow. Well, I shot them.
This is the same as during the weapons trial, except now we're going to test the target's defensive capabilities. As a side note, you can track all missiles with your camera by selecting them, or just hover over them with your
Yeah.
mouse and hitting the F key.
Have a good day.
Thank you. 2 things.
Yes.
Number 1.
Yeah, the shepherd's pie. Yeah.
There were just I poured it.
Oh my gosh, what a discerning cat.
I shoot like
Oh,
like
wow.
and that's why I shoot like I think. How do they work?
Love you. Bye, be safe. So, if you didn't hear that, yeah, I got a frozen shepherd's pie from Trader Joe's that I'm going to try for lunch today. It looks really good. Now, if you didn't hear that, my wife, we spoil our cats. And my wife gives them a little bit of cream in a couple of bowls every morning. 1 bowl each. And because the cream in Lizzie's bowl had a couple of bubbles in it, she wouldn't touch it until those bubbles were dealt with. So apparently our cat has a thing about bubbles. We've been wondering why she likes to wash the watch excuse me, watch the water go down the sink, water go down the drain. It's probably Bubbles. She's probably trying to figure out Bubbles. So she's such a silly cat. It's very cute. It's very. Oh, we have silly cats. Yes. Anyway, back to the very serious and simple Nebulous Fleet Command. It's so simple. Okay, I'm alright. So how do we follow a missile? You want me to follow a goddamn missile?
Targets have their point defenses on the ventral side of the ships, and since we're below the targets, we're at a disadvantage.
Okay, how would I know that? How would I know where their point defenses are?
We could ascend and take the elevated position on the targets, but trust me when I say that they can roll their ships to cover the angle much faster than we can get into a more advantageous position. You may recall from the weapons trial that I mentioned you can plot complex paths for certain missiles to follow. We're going to work up some clever missile strikes.
Yeah, I liked Flotilla. I never played the second one because it went VR only. And I still haven't got, even though that now I have a Oculus, or Meta, excuse me, I still haven't played Flotilla 2. But I like Flotilla 1 quite a bit. Yeah, that seems a silly. I mean, I don't understand making a game VR only, honestly. I mean, a lot of people bought Quest 2s over the holiday break, apparently, so, anyway.
The easiest way to lay in missile paths is in the tactical view. Toggle it with the spacebar and keep it up. We'll need the extra space. In the weapons trial, we were always using track mode, and in one case visual mode, to target our weapons. Some weapons, and especially missiles, also have a position mode that lets us directly choose points in space to shoot at. Because the Hurricane missiles rely on a constant sensor track from their launching ship, they can't be shot at positions. So let's switch over to the Dusty Tome, which is carrying Thunderheads.
At the ready, Commander.
To target the weapons in position mode, open the action menu by right-clicking in open space. Don't right-click on a track, as this will put the weapons in track mode. Open the weapons list by clicking the Weps or Weapons button on the right side of the action menu. From the list, select the SGM-206 Thunderhead, but don't confirm a launch order just yet. You'll recognize the sphere widget from when we used it briefly in some of the previous trials, but we're going to get a lot of mileage out of it now. There are a few things to notice. The first is the red cone at the cursor location. This represents the missile's seeker field of view. When the missile reaches its last waypoint, its seeker will activate and any target in that cone will be locked on by the missile. It's important to remember that the missile seeker and warhead are inactive until it reaches the last waypoint. Because of this, it's important to leave space between where you place the last waypoint and the intended target. A good buffer will allow the missile to correct its course and establish a good path to intercept the target. The next thing you'll notice is the dotted lines and the circles projected onto the surface of the sphere. These are present because we're currently holding several enemy tracks on our sensors. It's very easy to get fooled by perspective in 3D space. These tracks are projected onto the sphere, so you have a good point of reference for the direction the track's relative to your cursor. The most effective way to aim at your target correctly is to look at its projection on the sphere, not the target itself. Before we get to the complicated stuff, just try firing a single missile at the group of 2 ships by positioning the cursor inside one of their projected circles and clicking the left mouse button.
Missile out.
Unless you're extremely lucky, this missile will likely be Now let's use cruise missiles to their full advantage by laying a path that attacks these ships from the top, where they have no point defense coverage.
Yep.
Start up another missile order, and I'll walk you through creating a path and taking multiple shots from the same order. We're going to arrange a top-down attack using Thunderhead missiles. Remember to be in the tactical view to get the most information and see the projected lines. In order to help you out for this one, I'll place markers for the waypoints we'll use. You place waypoints just how you would with ships. Position the cursor in the vicinity of waypoint 1, and hold the left shift key while clicking the left mouse button to add the waypoint. Don't worry about being exact, anywhere in the vicinity will work. Now do the same for waypoint 2. If you find it helpful, you can lay in your own path to reach the elevation we need to land a good hit. Now comes the tricky part. We want to fire 4 missiles down on top of these ships. In order to do so, position the target circle so it's facing the targets. Then, hold left control to draw the radius out until it's about halfway between your last waypoint and the target. Remember to give some relief space between the selected position and the target, so the seeker has time to activate. Take your time, and remember to reference your cursor against the projected circles, not the tracks themselves. When you're ready to start placing shots, hold the left Alt key and click the left mouse button. 1 missile will be fired per click when the order is finally issued. I recommend spreading the shots out in a cone a few degrees across, so the salvo has better odds of finding the target. An added benefit of this is that when missiles acquire a target, they'll curve back in on a trajectory that naturally confuses any point defenses they may encounter. To issue the order, either click the left mouse button with the left Alt key released, or press the Enter key if you have queued up exactly the number of missiles you want. We'll wait till you score a hit on one of these 2 ships before proceeding.
Thank you, Fernando. It seems very simple.
Don't worry if you don't get any hits, just try again. It's not like these things are expensive.
They all hit.
Now we're talking. Attacking ships from top and bottom limits the number of mounts that can defend against the attack. It also has the added benefit of increasing the surface area of the vital internal components which are exposed to your fire, meaning more damage is more likely to be done once the missile connects.
Excuse me. Oh, I apologize.
I'll be honest, Commander. I made you do this one the hard way so you could get some practice with the sphere widget on a target you could see. You can also accomplish the same thing using target reference points, which you can find under the signal menu as the TRP button.
What?
Awaiting your orders, Commander.
RP. Talking about, oh. Well, apparently that's not enabled right
We
now.
won't do it now, but feel free to practice on your own later. They allow you to create a single waypoint for some missiles to travel via when firing on a track, but keep in mind that not all missiles support this. Let's move on to another type of missile. The A&S Fatal Spell is carrying a few SGM-233 Gale semi-active guided missiles. Semi-active missiles have a passive seeker and require an illuminator to home in on a target. Think of this like a radar flashlight. The illuminating signal can be provided by any ship, not just the ship that launched the missile. But that signal must be painted on a target for a missile to home in on it. Without it, the missile is just an expensive dud. The benefit of semi-active missiles is that they are significantly harder to jam or decoy, because a ship can output much more energy than a missile can. Illuminators can be found in the action menu under the EW weapon list on the right-hand side. Illuminate a target.
Awaiting your orders, Commander.
Send traffic. Aye, aye.
Your illuminator has a 90-second firing time before it turns off so the amplifiers can cool down. You can see its cone of effect in the tactical view. Before it cools down, fire 4 Gale missiles at the target you have illuminated.
I didn't illuminate it, apparently.
Missile away. Missile away. Launch confirmed. Confirmed. Missile away.
Remember, if the illumination signal turns off before the missiles arrive, they will lose tracking and probably miss their target. They'll continue in their current direction, so stationary targets may be struck, but at this point, it's just luck. Illuminators also require a direct line of sight to their target. Ships obscured by asteroids won't be painted.
That
Now let's get
sucked.
some more practice with using waypoint paths. There are 2 more enemy ships hiding in the radar shadows of the nearby asteroids, meaning we can't see them with our own ships. Another benefit of cruise missiles and their ability to follow paths is that you can shoot at targets you suspect to be in the area but do not hold a track on. This is good for hitting ships that have retreated behind an asteroid or other obstacle hiding from our sensors. Use the thunderheads on any of the ships to hit the target hiding near the point I've indicated.
Awaiting your orders, Commander. At the ready, Commander.
Yeah. I'm Matilda.
Missile out.
Try it.
Remember to use the tactical view to give yourself the best perspective, and lay in your paths so the missiles will turn on their seekers before reaching the target. They'll need time and space to identify a target.
Missile. I still don't know how to do the active pause thing. Hey, get it, Matilda? Pause. There. Oh, hi, Lizzie. Duh!
While hiding behind asteroids can help you remain hidden from the enemy, it also gives the attacker an advantage. Cover can be a double-edged sword at the worst of times. By hugging the asteroid closely with your missile's flight paths, you can give the point defenses less time to react before they detect the threats. That means
Okay, let's try that again, I guess.
Send your traffic.
Oh, come on. Okay. Very
Outgoing missile.
no, 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 damn son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Add waypoint. Add waypoint. Add. Oh. It's just gonna keep going. God, I'm an idiot. Okay,
Outgoing missile.
no. Fuck. thought I had. Oh, God, I'm such an idiot. Okay. Okay. Oh, God. God, this is... Ugh. Okay, this is infuriating. I knew this would happen. Okay, let's see. Confusing at all. Nope.
Missile out.
Did I do it? I don't know if I did it. I don't think I did. Oh, God. No, I don't think I did it. Yeah, what a shock. Engagement failed. I suck at this.
Sending it.
No, oh, fuck, I thought I had shift. I thought I hit shift. Oh my God. Okay, why is this so complicated? Why Does this need to be so fucking complicated? Why does this need to be so fucking complicated? Jeez, fuck, no, what? Stop it. Why? Oh, God. Oh,
Outgoing missile.
think I might have done it this. We'll see. Yeah, I don't think there's any gathering or resource building. Honestly, I think it's more, if I did it this time. Probably not. Gonna hit the rock, isn't it? It's gonna hit the asteroid. Yeah, go ahead. Hit the damn asteroid. Go ahead. Do it. Damn, you fucking son of a fucking got a fucking guy.
Send your traffic. Firing a missile.
I don't even. Oh, for fuck's sake. Really?
Send your traffic.
I'm not annoyed at all. I'm not feeling in any way annoyed. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Doing great. I'm just doing just great.
Outgoing missile.
Here, take 6. Enjoy that. Enjoy. Have fun. Have fun. Enjoy that. Come on.
Good strike! There's one more ship hiding up near Point Boxer, above the large asteroid. For this one, I'll hide the marker after a few seconds, so get a good feel of for where it is. This'll be your hardest shot yet, so make me proud.
No. 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 Okay, fine.
Send your traffic.
Why can't I send it over the asteroid? Alright, I'll send it under the goddamn thing. What you want, right? Is that what you want? Is that what you fucking want? Is that what you want, game? Is that what you want? You want to send it over here? You want to send it over here? I'll send it over fucking here. How about that? How you like that? How about that? How about that? How about I do that? Huh? How about that? How about that? Huh? How about I send it under the goddamn thing and then go uppy uppy up? I send it under the goddamn thing. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that, and then up. Up a little more. And I think, right? Wait, right?
Missile out. Low missile count.
Yeah, I know it's not going to work. I've kind of stopped caring at this point. I'm probably going to kill the stream in a minute because I'm just so disgusted. One ping only. Like one stream only. So let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. This is not a game for me. This is not a game for me at all. This is I think one reason I like Starfleet 2 so much is because it stays 2D. For me, 2D is manageable. For me, 2D is doable. For me, 2D is yeah. For me, 2D is manageable. For me, 2D is approachable. For me, 2D is doable. For me, 2D is workable. Add 3D to the mix, and I have a hard time. I have a hard time, and it's I can't blame the game. I don't think I can't blame the game. It's doing what it wants to do. It's doing it well. This is just not for me. If it's for you, great. It is not for me. And I'm going to stop now before I get angry at this game, because I'm already starting to feel like I want to throw it out the window. And that's not fair. That's not fair to this game, because it's not the game's fault that I can't handle it. Yeah, it's not the game's fault that I have a problem with true 3D. It's that I'm stuck in two-dimensional thinking. Yeah, I can't blame the game for trying to do what it wants to do, and I just can't handle it. So I think if you're the kind of person who loved Homeworld and who loves fully 3D space games like this, I think you will love this. But if you're more like me and you want a more 2D top-down naval sort of thing, no. So that's going to do it for this stream, because my brain is melting and I need food and more caffeine badly. So badly. Tomorrow we're going to go on a completely different track. Tomorrow, hang on. Let me make sure. Yeah, tomorrow we are going to do Fishing Barents Sea. It's another one of those European fishing simulators. It was real cheap on sale. And so I had to get it, because you know me, I love the jank. I think this could work well if your brain can handle it. I think Nebulous here can work well if your brain can handle it. Oh god, I have no idea if it has eye tracking. I should look. I doubt it does. I think if your brain can handle it, unlike mine, I think you will probably love this game. There is so much here. And there's just, the developer's going to be adding more. He's apparently going to be adding a full-blown single-player campaign to this. But I think it's just a little too fiddly for me. This is why I like games like Starfarer, or Star Sector, where I could just be like, hey, you do this, like, or even Battlefleet Gothic 2 lets you give like kind of orders, AI orders to your ships, and they handle the nitty gritty. I much prefer that. I'm more of the distant worlds, you know. Tell the other ships what to do. I don't want to fiddle with every little system. That just gets it's too much for me. It's too fiddly for me. So yeah, if you're the kind of gamer who loves fiddly, you'll probably love this. That is not me though. That is not me. So I can't knock the game because it's doing what it wants to do. I can't knock it because I'm not good at it. I think this is going to be a great game. Just I don't think I'm the... And you know how much I love spaceships, but I don't think I'm the audience for it. So, yeah. So that'll do it for today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Be safe, be well. Take care of each other. And I'll see you back here tomorrow with some fishing. Which will hopefully be a lot funnier than this. I'm going in for the jokes. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.